Tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota ngandani, Iolengus, City Lengus, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani. Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota ngandani, Iolengus, City Lengus, Iolengus, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani.
Attention to the issue of femicide. This is the international killing of females and girls, intentional rather, killing of females and girls on account of their gender, such as intimate partner violence or so-called honor killings. The Kenya National Police Service says that between August and October, there were nearly 100 confirmed cases of femicide in the country. UN statistics also show that there are a daily average of 140 femicide cases globally.
According to the Kenyan police, in the last 3 months alone, 97 women have been killed in the country. The UN says figures of intimate partner and family-related femicide were highest in Africa in 2023, with over 21,000 women killed.
The most painful moment is when you enter in the mortuary and find your daughter or your loved one lying in that thing of the mortuary. Nyakio was charming. Nyakio was bubbly. Nyakio was the most beautiful girl in this world. People loved her so much. She was very soft.
Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota mandani. Oh, Iolengus, our city lengus. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota ngandani, Iolengus, City Lengus, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, abafazi bayalila, Iolengus, City Lengus, Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota ngandani, Iolengus, City Lengus, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota ngandani, Iolengus.
Trying to bring attention to the issue of femicide. This is the international killing of females and girls, intentional rather, killing of females and girls on account of their gender, such as intimate partner violence or so-called honor killings. The Kenya National Police Service says that between August and October, there were nearly 100 confirmed cases of femicide in the country. UN statistics also show that there are a daily average of 140 femicide cases globally.
According to the Kenyan police, in the last 3 months alone, 97 women have been killed in the country. The UN says figures of intimate partner and family-related femicide were highest in Africa in 2023, with over 21,000 women killed.
The most painful moment is when you enter in the mortuary and find your daughter or your loved one lying in that thing of the mortuary. Nyakio was charming. Nyakio was bubbly. Nyakio was the most beautiful girl in this world. People loved her so much. She was very soft.
Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota mandani. Oh, Iolengo, our city lengo. Emma tota sabelani. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota nandani. Iolengos, city lengos. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani. Abafazi bayali. Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota nandani. Iolengos, city lengos, Iolengos. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani.
Viewers and panelists.
Good afternoon.
I'm Unito Duor. Today I'll be your host and I work with HEDSO. HEDSO means Health and Economic Development Strategy Organization. And today we are going to have a podcast on a topic called gender-based violence and trauma, which is resulting to scars of violence. As you know very well that gender-based violence is just intentional. It refers to harmful acts that interfere with both genders, mean a female and a male. And here, trauma means the experience that someone gets from experiencing a certain thing that interfere with him or her emotionally, physically, and socially. And as you can see also our topic, we have a theme called Break the Silence, Heal the Mind, and Stop GBV. Why are we breaking the silence? We are breaking the silence just to encourage those who are experiencing gender-based violence in their respective homestead, and also to create a safe space for them, either in dialogue or reporting or healing, to make them feel safe in their community they're coming from. Why are we healing mind? We have realized that when someone is experiencing GBV, he or she feels so hard for him or her to share what he what he is experienced due to the community judgment. So we are healing this through counseling, peer support, and therapy to help the survivor rebuild self-esteem to make him or her live in the society. Then stopping gender-based violence, I know it's something that requires a lot of time and resources to stop it, but we can prevent it. The prevention requires addressing the issues and also knowing the root cause of these. And we know very well that major of the gender-based violence are caused by poverty. How can we address this cost of poverty? That is a food for thought. And here I am with my heap of experts or panelists on gender-based violence. I'll start by introducing themselves and giving them 2 minutes each to tell us their name, what they're doing, and what they've been doing to address these issues of gender-based violence. I'll start with Claire Court.
Sorry, thank you so much, and to the viewers as well. My name is Claire Accord, and my work revolves around around GBV response. In the community, we receive cases of different kinds of gender-based violences and we help survivors to access justice by directing them and linking them to the right organizations or right channels or systems that are in place to make sure that they are supported. So generally, also very active when it comes to advocacies, meaning talking about this gender-based violence and making sure that many people are aware that this is a real situation and that they are aware of the way to make sure that it doesn't happen, to prevent and also to solve whenever it occurs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll introduce Han.
Okay, thank you very much. So my name is Anne Wanjiru. I work with Tinada Ibaction Africa as a psychologist. And so today I'm here because I know with issues of gender-based violence, all these cascade to issues with mental health. And so I'm here with my team, just addressing addressing how we can end gender-based violence, and more so on how we can reintegrate this to mental health support. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and to the only gentleman in our midst, Valentine.
Thank you so much, first of all, for the invitation to be here at this time. My name is Valentine Adi. I am a researcher and I do mentorship programs. We run mentorship programs across all odds, including mental health, which impacts basically on the people's lives positively and negatively across all generations and across all the challenges that there are. So we are here to deliberate on the issues of gender-based violence and its impact to the society, to the community, and to our families, with our main aim being trying to develop possible solutions in amicable ways in which the chances of gender-based violence can be increased, or in a manner in which they can be curtailed, and also developing or creating public awareness over the same. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, our panelists, for introducing yourself. And to our viewers, we value your comments. We could just request you like, you share, and also you comment, and also you can ask questions if any case you people have. To my panelists, there is something trending online called the purple color, and I've seen so many feminists, even those who are not feminists, are posting them in their status. And this thing originated from South Africa. As you know that in Africa, the only country that has a lot of crime rate is South Africa. And if you compare any country in the world with South Africa, you find that there's a lot of killing of women, there's a lot of insecurity, there's a lot of bad social things that can happen in a certain country in South Africa. And as a feminist, I saw it so important to embrace this, because even if you compare to the number of women that are being killed in Kenya with South Africa, we are not too far. We started by killing 1, the justice was denial. We started by killing 2, the justice was denial. We started by killing 3, the justice was denial. And if you embrace this advocacy of purple color to mean we unite, then we resist and we embrace that women also have the right to stay and have the right to do other things that men are doing. We'll have a better country. Have you come across this trending of purple color? And
okay, yeah, thank you very much. So I think as our host has said that in South Africa these cases have been like there regularly, and so I like the idea that globally people are creating awareness, not even in South Africa but even here in Kenya, and so awareness will help us to let people know that these things are there, and instead of just getting quiet and just going like that, we have to get the sound, or we have to get the voices to fight for this violence. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. To Valentine, have you ever come across this purple color in the last 2 weeks? And what comes to your mind when you hear the word gender-based violence?
Thank you. I think that's a good inquiry. I would give it this approach. The concern of gender-based violence is a form of severe or extreme disagreements across or amongst people of the opposite gender that lead to harm, not only physically, which mostly people perceive it to be, but there is also the emotional and the psychological part of the gender-based violence incidences that are there that impact negatively on people's lives in terms of demoralization and etc. Now, in the case of South Africa, you started by bringing the context of feminism. I think the issue of feminism started in the early 1920s when the likes of these women historians like Rosa Luxemburg or Mary Wollstonecraft started developing the idea of championing for the rights of women. Not that really men do not have rights. So I would want to give a gender-based violence an idea of anybody can be a victim. A male can be a victim, a female can be a victim. But now what happens that only the female victimization portion is more on the limelight than as compared to the male. That aside, the issue that is going on in South Africa, I think they are recording quite an increasing number of femicide cases. In 1 year, the research of the last week was they were producing a news about 5,000 plus, so many hundreds of femicide cases. People who have been faced not only by femicide cases but by gender-based violence. And when you talk about the production of numbers, I think numbers come as a result of the reported cases. So Kenya, for instance, may also have the same number of cases, but the data that is there are maybe cases that have been reported and have been finalized. Because if you look at the past, the research was showing around 139 only. Yet the cases of gender-based violence, the cases of family disagreements, the cases of divorce, the cases of femicide and killing keep going on. The number keep growing. So I think the official data that is posted to the media is about the finalized cases and not the exact number of the incidences that are happening within our societies. So I would want us to give it a perception of both gender case, where any other person, a male or a female, can be faced with a gender-based violence activity, and if it happens, it impacts on both the victim and the person who has committed the offense.
Thank you so much, Valentine. To Claire, remember there is a certain day we were touring with a friend of mine, And I've just heard and highlighted something that Valentine has said, that other forms of gender-based violence is physical abuse. And I was talking with a friend of mine, and he was telling me, he's a male friend, he was telling me that physical abuse is not a form of gender-based violence. Then I asked him why. And he said maybe the woman was enjoying sex, and some people are very like when they're doing sex or they're in that act, they are very violent, that they want to be romance. Some people are doing it romantically in different form. Hiyo time amekuslap kidogo na ukafura, maybe mwili iko tu hivyo inafura. So I was like, really? Is this thing true? Yeah.
Well, I'd start by smiling to that, because honestly, it's a myth, a very evident myth, that somebody or some people enjoy violence. Who does that? And if at all there's somebody who enjoys violence, should the society leave them to keep asserting their energy, their violent energy towards other people, to the point of even leading to death? No. So their physical violence or physical assault, this is one of the most, in fact, known forms of gender-based violence. There are others. As you were speaking, I thought you were going to refer to the others that people most times cover up. Things like the emotional violence, like somebody maybe in a marriage, you find that the husband and the wife are not talking for even months, giving that cold treatment, the silent treatment. You know, this is also another form of gender-based violence, because the moment you're in a house with one person, with someone, your partner, and you're not talking, and how would you know what this person is thinking in the first place? How would you know if one day they'll just wake up and then hurt you? So it is true that there is physical violence, and there's also this other thing that people talk about, that there are people who, when you beat a wife or you beat your woman, it means you love them. That is not true, honestly. I know this is something that had been happening maybe in the recent past and even currently, because where I work with the human rights, sometimes you just have cases, people coming in, they're coming in when it's not too much, or maybe it has reached a point they want to report. But then if you try and track down, you find that this is something that has been happening for years, and this woman has been saying it's okay. I would like to allude to this poem that is called, I think you've heard of it, that He Promised Me Heaven. I think we did it in high school, and in this poem, the protagonist is talking about this man giving her very nice promises during their wedding, and it's a very beautiful thing. They walk down the aisle, people praise them, people clap for them, and it's all amazing the first year. And then she goes ahead and talks about, after that 1 year, that these are turned to kicks, kick after kick, and after that kick, maybe the person apologizes, and then because there's already that existing promise, this is somebody who has already entrapped you, you already believed, they already sold you the first bit or the first juicy meat. Now they're giving you the bone, but you're saying, there's some meat I saw before, maybe it's going to come. And that is why most people keep on staying. They don't take up that, next action. So, like, if you look at this kind of this physical violence, pole or slowly, then the person forgives, and it escalates, and it becomes worse. So some people, like the narrator there, they only recognize that it's too bad when now she's on the deathbed, and then she reflects and remembers that, hey, indeed He promised me heaven, because she's going to die and she's going to go to heaven. Yeah.
Thank you, Claire. From your narration, I've heard you mentioning other forms of gender-based violence, that is emotionally. And our topic of today is gender-based violence and trauma. And so I have something is disturbing in my mind. And I'm sure that all of you are representing organization. From your own experience in the field where you are working or the community where you are working, Claire, what are the most form of gender-based violence experienced in that area? And which group tends to be violated in that area? And what are you doing as an organization to prevent, because we are sure that ending gender-based violence is too hard, but we can prevent by reducing the number.
It's okay. Thank you so much for your question. From the statistics or the people that we deal with, mostly it's IPV that is very common. That is the intimate partner violence. There you find a woman comes to report, or maybe a man. Sometimes we receive cases also for men talking about their spouses really doing a lot of verbal assault towards them, and yeah, those are cases that we receive. And mostly for the women that come in with the cases, like there's a case I remember just recently. The woman came in and talked about the man, the husband. There's a very big age gap, like there's a age difference. It's so huge. So the husband kind of feels that this woman can easily slip into another person's hands. So you find that the woman is not allowed to even go and do her business. She used to sell boga, that is the boar, yeah. And then, so the husband would work with her everywhere. He would be like, if you want to go anywhere, the husband would have to accompany. And it escalated to a point where this man, because he was a watchman, he would leave the house, like he would leave the house at night to go to his duty and lock this woman inside, because he feels that this woman can actually leave and maybe go to other men or do other things that he is already imagining. But then we're looking at this kind of already toxic situation, because what if something happens, there's a fire inside the house at night, and this woman is not able to leave because she's locked inside. And then just look at the kind of relation that is there, because she cannot even have her own phone, because her own phone, the husband has the phone, and the husband has his own phone, and he is also in custody of her phone. And her phone, she's not allowed to receive any call from the male gender. If that happens, or if that happens, then she has to answer, who is this guy, and why are they calling you? So the kind of violences that we receive mostly are those for the intimate partners who are coming in with different kinds of complaints. Some are being assaulted, some are being hit, and another thing is that they don't want to go directly to the police station, because they feel like if they go, and this is the person they depend on for everything, their children who are in question, how are they going to survive? So they come for alternative justice systems so that they can find a way to deal with that case without taking it to the police station. So one of the best ways I believe our societies can do to make sure that GBV, if at all it can't be stopped, I believe it can. An ideal Kenya is a Kenya that we want to make sure that there is no case of gender-based violence. But as of now, one of the things we can do is always just be alert. Be alert as a person who is in a relationship. You are in a union, and that is not a bondage. It's a partnership generally, and the CSOs, I know they're already going out there with a lot of information, but I believe more and more information, right information, can ensure that people know that the channels that they can use whenever there are cases, so that once a case is reported and justice is served, it gives a lot of people more confidence to also report more. to increase, just as my brother here said, that there are some people who don't report their cases. So if our system can automatically make sure that these perpetrators are taken, have taken account, like have taken the responsibility of their actions, it will increase confidence to the people, and it also will scare off these other perpetrators so that they cannot do it, because other people will do it because they see that those who are already reported, or those who are already arrested, or those who are supposed to be taken any action against, are just maybe moving around freely. So they keep on asserting their own dominance and all that. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Claire. From the story you have just narrated, I've remembered something. The other day I had an engagement on gender-based violence in Kisumu West, and we were late, and we were mobilizing the participants. So I called one of the participants, and the husband received the call. The husband, wait, he said that as we are sharing the phone, if she's coming, I have to come with her, because you people are teaching our wives to leave us and we want to stay together. You're teaching our wife to stand when we're arguing. She's also arguing, and I was like, what? We don't need them like that. We only empowering them with the knowledge that they deserve. And when the wife arrived, she told us a lot of stories that the man has a chest, like the man has a chest, and anytime he beat her, akiangalia to the chest, the woman is coming back again. And the man, he said a lot of stories. Some are good, some are not good. So, and the woman looks stressed. Like, you know, you can enter a certain room and you see people and you see this person is stressed. Like, she's not even comfortable. She can't even share. So, one of our counselors sat with her down and akamhoji. Then the woman said, even now when I'm coming here, the man alinipiga. Then he had an injury na akaficha. The man akamwambia, because you are going where women are, going in a long sleeve though was young. So I was like, why are you going back and uko unapigwa? Then the woman was telling us that she grew up in a family where the dad was beating the mother, and when she was married, he requested husband to beat her as a form of love. And I'm saying, but now he's beating you and you are almost dying because you want to do what your parents were doing. So Claire, Nani Ann, have you ever, why it is crucial to include mental health as part of GBV response and recovery efforts?
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. First, I would say we cannot completely heal GBV without addressing the psychological scars that GBV brings in. And so you find the moment GBV happens, and of course we say that it's not just a physical violation, it is a deep-rooted whereby the survivors are being left, they're not the same again. The way they view themselves, the way they view others, the way they view the world that they are living, they never see things the same. And so most importantly, because we already understand that there is this psychological scar, just like the way you're saying, this is a woman who has been brought up from a family that was full of violence, and now she has to get into a marriage that now the violence is getting on. And so the reason as to why we are integrating, well, we do our level best to try to integrate mental health support with GBV. Number one is to ensure that, one, there is empowerment and reintegration. Because if we left these people unattended, if no one is there to listen to them, just as Claire has said, the moment we see some cases are being reported and there is nothing that has been done, of course, like no one will bother to go and report again. So we want to just come and bring them to a point whereby they can be empowered. They can be empowered, number one, and they can also get their lives back. Remember, we don't want survivors to continue feeling as victims, but we also want them to just have their lives again, even if like a lot of things have happened. Number two, we also want to break the cycle of violence. So for example, that case, if this is a person who has been all through in violence, and now they are getting to marriage that is still again in violence. The cycle continues and continues. And so if this is not well catered for, a lot of things will continue happening to them. This cycle will, just like trauma, this cycle will continue just being with them, even to the children who will come after. The other thing you'll find, we also need to improve service delivery. For example, Kreya is there, and she is the just GBV responder. And so you find if there is nothing that have been done to, for example, someone like Kreya, they carry vicarious trauma. Vicarious trauma is what we call the secondary trauma. So they receive a lot of people who are very traumatic and who have a lot of issues. And at the end of the day, if she happens to go home, bear in mind that this thing, she will go with them home. And so in future, if we are not there to cater for the professionals who are also handling the victims, or even, sorry to say, the survivors, at the end of the day, we are going to have a lot of people who are culminating to a lot of mental health issues. And so it's very vital to ensure that, yes, these cases are there, and we wake up every day to fight for these cases. We want to end gender-based violence, right? But then are we taking care of ourselves too? Are we taking care of these people who have gone to, who have experienced gender-based violence? And that is why you find whenever this GBV happens, as I said earlier, it never leaves these people the same. These are people who, after the incidents, they experience PTSD. This is what we call the post-traumatic stress disorder. And you see, the PTSDs also come with a lot of issues. You'll find like they are reporting the nightmares, they are reporting the flashbacks, they fear everything, they fear a lot. They try even to disassociate themselves. And so also you'll find that they develop something we call depression and anxiety. You find like they were very normal people before, but they could work so well, they could relate with people so well. But after the incidents, these are people who have lost interest. These are people who have sudden mood changes. These are the people you can no longer understand, So they're just, they're very affected. These are people who also experience panic attacks now and then. And so if all these issues are not well handled, at the end of the day, we end up developing chronic mental disorders. And so you all know that treating mental health disorder, it's somehow expensive, per se, and also it's not easy. So we're trying to see how best can we integrate mental health and GBV to ensure that at least, yes, they have undergone GBV, but later in life they'll not come to develop mental disorder because of economy, because of how society is taking it. So I really understand that it's a very important aspect to integrate into GBV. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Anne. And I'm still on you. How can friends and family offer support to the gender-based violence survivor without deepening that trauma? You can come and you are storing with me, and you see very well that my rights were violated or my man beat me. Na unakuja unaniambia Junita, we ameharibu sura. How can we give support without deepening? Because to me, when you tell me we na venye ulikuwa na sura mrembo na saizi ameharibu, inasema tu yenyewe you are cancelling me, but here you are deepening that pain. When I sit alone, I will recall all the things you are telling me, and I will say, yenyewe, this man has destroyed my face. No one will want me anymore. How can you give support, or what encouragement can you give the family and friends who are offering the support, not to deepening that wound that is already existing?
Well, thank you very much, and also I think that is very interesting, especially to our viewers. And we say support, it's not, support it's a big deal to these people, and support is not that much, because you just need to listen to them. Are you offering them a listening ear? Are you listening to them without judging them? And so to the family members and also to the friends who have the survivors of gender-based violence, number one, we say, do you believe in them and validate them? Can you be able to tell them, I'm sorry if this happened to you, but I also want to remind you that this is not your fault. Again, are you able to talk to them, just like Ayunta is saying, are you able to talk to them in a very non-judgmental way? For example, if this is a lady who is undergoing violence in her marriage, like, you keep on telling them, like, we have been tried talking to you and you cannot leave the marriage. That is your business then. You know, are we able to just talk to them in a very non-judgmental way? Maybe you are a lady there who is still in a marriage. Why are you trying to judge them? Why are you just trying not to support them rather than judge them? Another thing is that do we respect their confidentiality? If today I have come and shared my story of whatever I'm going through, are you just like fair to listen to me and then you carry the story to Chamayawa Mama and go and share those stories to that Chamayawa Mama? So respecting their confidentiality gives the survivors confidence. You tell them even tomorrow or even the day after tomorrow, if something happens, if you have respected their confidentiality, you become the very first person whom they think to come and share with you. Again, another thing is that we know, and especially right now we are enlightened, we know there's something like therapies. Can you be able to encourage them to seek professional help whenever you feel like you cannot help them anymore? Because sometimes these people come to you now and then. Sometimes family members, sometimes friends, we just get tired. For example, you have that one friend who keeps on telling you, like, you know, this is what I'm going, this is what I'm going. We end up getting so tired with them, and to an extent that we even tend to avoid them. But before we avoid them, are we able to encourage them, to tell them, I see this is getting out of hand. Is it possible if I help you to get a professional help? Maybe you can get a counselor, maybe you can get a therapist somewhere. Another thing is to offer practical support. Whenever we have these survivors, what are exactly doing with them? For example, you could maybe having a survivor who need to go to a court. If you are there and you can really help them, can you accompany them even to go to that court? You can even attend their listening. If it is for counseling session, you can accompany them to go and see a therapist, you know. And so this support, whenever we talk about support, we're really not talking about money and everything. We understand that economic status is not that good. And we're really not asking so much to help these people. Just being there for them, just validating them, just understanding them, because as we said, they are never the same again. Sometimes they become people who you cannot even handle. They wake up with mood swings. They wake up with a lot of irritability, with anger outbursts. You cannot even reason with them. They have emotional numbness. Actually, you cannot even sit down with them and listen to them. So as families, as friends, are you there to just say, hey, you squeeze your moods, you have to understand that this is one of the signs of trauma that it underwent. And so are you there to support them holistically with the little you have, with your time, with your anything, with your encouragement, and at the end of the day, they will feel supported enough, and they will feel like they belong to where they're supposed to be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. To our viewers, feel free to post any question you have, share our live, comment, and like. Valentine. Most of the cases I've had men complaining that they're not being engaged in this activity, mostly activity that women are doing mostly. And a certain friend of mine who also is a man, you know, I have a lot of friends, was telling me that when we empower women and leave men, it will be difficult for men to survive or to live with women that are empowered. And I sat down and I see, that thing makes sense anyway. Eh? That is just by the way. Can you just tell us how can young men be engaged as allies or as a change makers, a positive change makers, not just a change maker? You know, you can be a change maker, but you're a negative change maker. A positive change makers in ending gender-based violence rather than being viewed as a potential perpetrator. You know, you can come with me and advising me on this, and you are giving me so sweet word. And naona tu wenyewe penye huwa anaenda ni penye nimetoka. How can we engage men without judging them as a potential perpetrators?
Thank you so much. I think I would want to start by maybe saying that I was waiting for her to also listen on the cases where men also report issues of assault. I only hear female. But when you look at the manner in which the latter depicts the issue of violence, it is made to be a concern of female, to be the only victims. Women are also the major perpetrators of the same problem called gender-based violence. Because it is a disease that develops and then creates a habit. Then a habitual action and repeated tolerance to it is what causes harm, where people die, people get injured, people lead to divorce, some people get traumatized, and the trauma that men face is not go unnoticed. Why? Because basically they try to do a lot of psychological trauma, and there is fear of coming out because of the fear of what people would say. You understand? So this fear of what people would say is what you are asking me about. Why do they fear? Because of this of the stereotype, the manner in which the boy child has been brought up that men should not cry, men should not share out their difficulties. So that if you are my friend, and I stay with a piga one, jaribu hata sahi kind of a wife, then if you don't jaribu, you walk away, then another issue again that comes, go to those women you usually go to. Then you come back and say, so you've come to beat me now and see. So then the verbal kind of harassment or the verbal violence is what becomes a problem into the man. Yeah? So the best way of what I usually do, I do both gender mentorship, where if we are going to talk about the concern of gender-based violence, like you are saying you are going to the field, I would invite both of them, so that we know that in as much as we talk about women's rights, that does not eliminate men from also having and expressing their rights. Everybody have a right. If we are married and we are in this house together, we are in this house to share our issues cognitively and see if marriage can lead us somewhere. And yet, another biggest problem we have, especially in Africa and in Kenya, in most of our communities, most of our girl children tolerate violence until it reaches tertiary stage, or a stage at where it is now already a problem. It is a police case, it is a court case, somebody is in prison. The nature in which our parents were brought up is very different with the nature in which we are brought up in the contemporary time. The laws have been made and amended across time. We have organizations that defend the rights of both male and female. Yeah? Only that the ones for the male, I don't know why they are not very much active. Like FIDA is active in championing for the right of the girl child and the feminines. But what I'm saying is, there are laws that protects both gender. There are laws that advocate for equal rights among citizens, equal treatment and equal fairness. And also there is also right for equal justice among the people who have an issue or there is a problem. So their involvement should begin right from the beginning where they grow up. Children need to be mentored on responsibility and the nature of support, on what the law say on peace promotion and gender tolerance and inclusivity across all our activities, so that it does not become an issue where when people grow old, they grow old knowing that this is permanently a responsibility of the man. You understand? Back at home and in our families, why we talk about trauma and scar is the aftermath of violence. Some people are violent because they grew up or they were brought up in a family of violence. A family where it was always vita, it was always war, it was always disagreements, such that it is their It is them growing into being adults that tones the parents down. They stop fighting because they are saying the children are now old enough. So let us try and promote this mentorship and public awareness activities across both gender. Let the boy child know the repercussions and the importance of not engaging into physical violence. And let the female gender also know the importance of staying peaceful, disciplined, and respectful in a manner that can be understood by anybody. I think even all of you, you handled these cases. You also handled some of these cases. And you can bear witness with me that the cases that are in courts, today we have women who ran away to drop the charges in court because she reported a case and discovered the husband had a video. Yes, she was physically abused. You understand? That one can be seen. That one has been documented. Maybe it is in the medical records in courts. But the woman still decides to run, drop the charges, or completely run away the moment she hears that there was a video that was recorded. You understand? It means for violence to happen, most of us, or both of us, must have participated. You understand? Not in all cases though, I admit, not in all cases. You can have a drunkard person who just fights. You can have somebody who is just too violent. Because maybe they see violence from a very early age. But the point I'm arriving at is, let us create equal justice system and equal platforms, even within our organizations, to make our members believe that there are amicable ways of settling out disputes without reaching violence. So the story of telling the girl children that vumilia tu, you understand? Just persist, just be there. Even if your daughter is being killed, the rule in your home, your father says that once you're married, no coming back. In fact, he can even use your mother as an example and tell you that this your mother used to beat her so many times. So because you used to beat my mother, so that is also the reason as why I should also be humiliated in another family. If my mother had persisted, that doesn't mean I have to be a victim of the same. You understand? So that kind of public awareness and engagement has to be eliminated. Two, in our traditional African societies, there are belief systems that people still live with them, up to date. There is a community in Kenya who majority of the women fear coming out, and yet every day, every time, there is news about violence, about femicide, about separations. In fact, we even have a radio station that is being used to do the reconciliation called Patanisho. But why are they not coming out? Because of a belief system in that community that if you take me to court, anybody who takes you to court and is your relative or is close to you, you can never eat with them on the same table, just like normal eating, that it is a taboo. And there's no taboo like that. These are things that people just develop into their minds. So in any time that there is a public awareness being developed on gender-based violence, let us also remember that men contribute the same portion of reasons for gender-based violence as well as women, and also bring them on board. The moment we will recognize that both gender are involved, then we will bring both of them on board. The reason as to why the gentleman you are saying assaulted the wife before the day of the meeting was bringing the claims is because he knew he was a victim. You understand? And he knew experts are coming, and if this thing is discovered, it may go to court or somebody may report the issue. But you also highlight an important point, that why is it that when these ideas come, only women are spoken about? I think it is high time Kenya also start advocating for the right of the boy child. I feel like the girl child has been empowered so much at the expense that the boy child is slightly left behind. And that is where now things cross the heads. When now people get into adults and you realize that the boy child does not know anything to do with how to tolerate a woman. The boy child does not know anything to do with reconciliation. The boy child does not know anything to do with government policies and what the Sharia says about these things. And fear of being victimized. You understand? The fear that if I come to tell you, as Unita, that my wife beat me yesterday in the night. You understand? Then I come and tell you that she beat me until I even slept outside. The first thing you will do is to laugh. You understand? And the next comment somebody will say is, how does a woman beat you? You mean you can even be beaten by a woman? You are not helping. You are attempting to help, but in that attempt you are causing more harm than the help you are doing. Because I am coming out with my problem. Maybe I allowed her to injure me because I did not want to. I wanted to conceal defeat. You understand? Because there is a manner in which sometimes I was annoyed to an extent. If I would start that kind of violence and exchange back, then it would lead to another different thing. You understand? So let us also try that in any cases where also the males report gender-based violence, whether it be physical, verbal, or psychological, like now the women who resort to silence. Silence in the house, somebody can be quiet, but it kills the spirit in a man. You understand? It brings so many thoughts. You don't know what the other person is thinking. You don't know what the other person is imagining. And therefore you live in a manner where, in a life where there is total mistrust, even if there is no mistrust at all. You understand? Mistrust come in, and then it will definitely explode into violence if not helped. So the boy children or the males need to be active participants into the involvement on advocate on gender-based violence and gender debates, so that they also know the basics as well as women all together.
Okay, thank you so much, Valentine. I'm still on you, but I want a brief answer. Okay, so I've heard you mentioning that we are doing online awareness of which it is good, online engagement, just to reach people, because we realize that majority of people in our country like using social media, and that's where you can find them so much. And I happen to join a lot of social media handles like X, Facebook, but one day I joined TikTok, and there's a certain organization called Knita Future. It's a girls advocate organization. Anyway, when you live here, go and follow those young women. They're doing amazing work in terms of the advocacy. So they posted a certain clip on sexual reproductive health rights. And I was just scrolling my phone, and I saw they had only 20 likes. But when I scrolled down, I saw a certain picture of a lady, a female like me, just dancing without doing anything, just dancing. And people like that thing, and I was like, what is the hell? These people are liking what they're supposed not to like, and leaving the key messages these young women are doing in Kisumu West. Actually, that organization is in Kisumu West. So, according to you, Valentine, does social media help in eradicating gender-based violence, or it's bringing more harmful in terms of gender-based violence? But if it's help, how can a young-led group or young youth use creative platform like art, theater, and to keep gender-based violence and mental health conversation alive and engaging? I've just told you about that Knita Future advocate for girls and that woman. I'm not against that woman, but I'm against the message she was delivering and the message these young people were delivering. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I want to start by saying that social media helps in a manner that it helps in creating public advocacy. There are so many online platforms that advocate for mental health, gender-based violence, sexual reproductive health, drugs and substance abuse, all that contribute to the concern of gender-based violence. The challenge that we have with the social media platforms is that our generation has been so much entrenched into the entertainment part of it. That is why you are saying that the important portion got very few likes, and when somebody started dancing, yeah? So the entertainment portion of the social media engagement has taken much of the brains of the young people. Yeah? But that does not delete the fact that social media does not help in advocacy. Yeah? Because even in our public media, yeah? You go to our broadcasting media stations, that is how we collect the information about the femicide cases. That is how the news come out about the gender-based violence cases that are being reported all over. So there is a manner in which social media is helping, though not to the extent that is expected, because of the focus of the young people. Yeah? Because young people still live in a dream that maybe it is not yet them. Yeah? Until it reaches next door is when you start imagining, wow, kumbe this is how rape affects people. Yeah? Kumbe this is how bad somebody can be violated, because it has reached your sister. Huh? Now you are using the media platform to post it. What should be done is a lot of sensitization on social media to keep promoting and creation of awareness. We need to do a lot of public advocacy online insofar as social media is concerned. Then too, these media platforms, as you inquired, most of them are not used to pass the correct information. Understand? Most of the information that you would find in the media is biased. Yeah? For instance, there was a time I was talking to a friend and I was telling him, any day that I will hear that a lady has taken an axe and chopped the man, the boyfriend's manhood. Yeah? A man fell from the flyover to the floor because of relationship. I would not judge. Yeah? I would maybe wait for the investigation to be concluded, so that you know what really happened. So these media platforms should be used to pass the correct information of what really happened. Not that when somebody comes and finds that somebody was assaulted, you want to start by judging. You find that there's a lady, the news just come out that there's a lady who was maybe defied or attacked in the night. Your first response is, what was that lady doing outside in the night? You understand? Without knowing, maybe she's a business person who has to work in the night, and maybe she's attacked. So social media should be used in that manner, that continue to spread the good news of maybe engaging more people and creating more public awareness. There is also public sympathy in as much as these photos and videos keep trending on social media, and that attracts more attention on the people. But people still give less focus on it, maybe because of lack of proper public awareness and campaigns. So that is what should be done.
Okay, thank you so much for that brief illustration. Claire, I know femicide begins way back, and to me, when I normally sit down and doing my personal reflection, I normally blame my great grandfathers, because those people believe that when you beat a woman, you are a man enough. So I think they took it normal. Wangekuwa wanakataza hiyo kitu hiyo way back, at least ungekuwa somewhere without a lot of this femicide that is happening. I have a friend of mine who was telling me the certain day I went for a march of ending femicide, and I put on those I call them free clothing. And a friend of mine was telling me that I'm promoting prostitution, and he was like, "Why are you supporting these women? Are you a prostitute?" And I said, "No, I'm not a prostitute. There are a lot of things that is happening, and they're worrying me. That a woman has come from work, and the husband is suspecting her, and the last thing is just chopping her head." And I was like, why? He doesn't want this woman to work, and it is good when you have your money and the husband also have his money, like mulete 50-50 for the family to balance. So Claire, we have witnessed a lot of worrying. To me I call them worrying. Kwanza in Kenya, yeah, of killing women intentionally. And some people are making it fun that women love money. To me, I disagree. If you don't love money, then you have the spirit of being poor. Even men love money. That's why they are going to work. They're working very hard. So this year and last year, it has risen here in Kenya, and people are advocating. A lot of organizations are doing that. So, in your own view, what factors do you think are fueling this increase of femicide, despite there is existing laws? And I heard you mentioning in your previous conversation that there are policies that are put in close to advocate for women's and men's rights. What do you think are fueling this, despite all the organizations doing a lot of advocacy, a lot of community dialogue, the people who are representing us like women rep in the parliament, they are talking about this thing, and this thing keep on rising.
It's okay. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful question, and it's of course it has been really alarming to get such numbers increasing, from 2024 and now say going into 2025. So one thing I would like to say to everyone, to organizations, the government, and everyone who's been lately advocating for femicide, is that I think you should be smiling wherever you are. That is number one. Why am I saying that? And you should not be demotivated, because the increase in cases, first of all, just tells us that there's been a lot of awareness, and people are able to report. People are able to come forward whenever this happens. Because there's something we were talking about here, that initially the numbers that have often gone unreported. And this is because maybe these cases have always been there, but we've not been seeing them in the limelight because they are not being reported. So maybe the increase in numbers, first of all, could just be emphasizing or insinuate that we have many people knowing that it is okay to report these cases, and they feel more comfortable to talk about them, because now they have a very big support system of people who will be there for them in terms of even giving them support whenever they're traumatized and everything else. So that is a very big win, and I think that is one of the reasons why there has been increasing cases. And maybe we should expect more reporting, not more cases. And another thing is that another reason why there's been many killings generally from way back and going on is because there are people up to date, they lack confidence in the existing systems that the government has put in place. We have the Sexual Offences Act 2006 that is already there in place, but then people are not really that confident about when they report cases. Is it going to be taken to the latter? There are cases that take really long in court. Like the other time I was listening to a podcast, and a woman was sharing a story of a certain girl who was defiled when she was around 11. And right now, the baby she gave birth to out of that defilement is 7 years old, and the case is not yet concluded. You can imagine how that already, what all that already says about our system and the cases that are already there. I would like to say that justice is very subjective, because there are people who perceive don't want the people who hurt them or maybe hurt them to go to jail. They feel that is not justice. Maybe they'd want other ways to make sure that these people change. Maybe the mediation, litigation, and all that, which of course only works for other offenses, but defilement, that is usually a no. You can never negotiate that. That is already a case. It's a crime that has to be, the person has to be arrested and all that. Yeah. So the rising cases can also be because of that. The perpetrators see that if they do something, they can easily pay their way out of the bails, of the jails, and then they walk freely because of maybe the power they have. And then the corruption as well. The people, you are going to a police station, and up at a police station, the person who hurt you, know those people, usually give them chai. So in such a place, you're sure you're not going to get your justice. But even though I think the people should be aware that there are authorities, places, organizations or institutions like IPOA that are there to always oversight. If your case you've reported and you're seeing nothing is working, you can always, there are other avenues that can make sure that you get your justice. And another thing that causes an increase in femicide is, just generally the tolerable, people tolerate, you're talking about someone grew in a family where the husband used to beat the wife, and that is what they've grown up seeing. And we say that the perpetrators are usually people who are very close to us and all that. There's this thing that the society is built in us, especially women, the desire for likability, yeah, where you were created in a way that you need to try to hold back and make sure that you're liked, like make sure you're not sounding bad, you understand? And I think that is one thing that really kills us, because it first of all will make you never to talk about your story honestly or openly as you should be. So the likability, I think it should have its own boundaries, because even you can never be liked by everyone. There are times that you've met a stranger, but then you just don't like them. They've not done anything to you, but then there's just that feeling. That bit of not being liked by everyone is something that is very natural. So the women out there, you should always learn to know your boundaries, and you should use these channels, these advocates, these people that are advocating, these organizations that are rising, they're here for you. These women that are around you, you should always just come out, share, and never keep quiet. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Claire. To our viewers, feel free to post your question, like and comment, and share our live. I've heard you mentioning about the existing policies are good, by the way, and I learned that from this organization I'm telling you, Knita Future. They advocate people for policies, and when you are from here, you can just get into their social medias and then engage you learn more about them. We have good policies, but they are in paperwork. I love that part. We have good policies, but they're in paperwork. So I'm just urging the organization, the viewers, the advocates that are watching us, to make sure these policies are implemented for people to get the justice they deserve. So Claire, in brief, and in your opinion, how can communities like us, as we are representing community, institution, we are also representing institutions, collaborate more effectively to prevent GBV before it occurs?
It's okay, and thank you so much. Once again, I'll be brief. First of all, the first community I would like to talk to is the community of our very beloved men and boys. This is a very integral and very important community when it comes to gender-based violence and everything to do with it stopping. They're like key, the key players in a field. Maybe there are people who are sitting at the bench. They're not benchers. They're people. They're main players, right? So for men, I don't know, and any other organization, those who can take up a way and find out a way that we can allow or give avenues for men to be able to report their cases in ways that they feel most comfortable. When the mountain doesn't come to you, you have to go to the mountain. So also calling on researchers, people who can find out the best ways to make sure that everybody is covered without them thinking that it's only women, femicide women, GBV women. And the other day I was speaking to my friend when he heard that I was going to this podcast and to talk about this GBV. He was like, me, I don't like GBV conversations. And I was like, why? Why don't you like them? And then he said that these GBV conversations are usually portraying men as bad people. But you know, if you really go in depth and find the right conversations about GBV, you will understand that these people are talking about GBV as gender involving everyone, right? So the researchers in these organizations, please just come out with reporting tools or reporting avenues that will accommodate our young men. That is one of the best ways that you can support this community to make sure that we stop this. Another thing that we can do, we already have men in these positions as police officers. We have them at gender desks. The gender desk officers who are men as well. So these men who are already in these positions, it is your duty, because men usually tend to listen to their peers whenever they converse. In those conversations, don't be those people who, there are memes that always come out, someone would post and say fear women, and then they end up hugging the women there. You know, that is already very misleading. So as men, we encourage you to have real conversations. Talk to your peers because they listen to you. The moment you are hurting, now umeenda hapo in your group and you're talking about mimi I cannot, that can't happen. You already fear, or you're already making your other men not free to come out, right? And also just fight for their own rights. So for having that conversations, and then another thing that you can do as communities is to keep supporting these existing organizations that are in place, because I don't believe that creating others will help. There are already many organizations working around GBV, so giving them support in making sure that they are able to do their work in terms of getting this information will make this stop.
Okay, thank you so much. Anne, yesterday when I was coming to work, I immediately arrived at the office. I met a friend of mine, a colleague, and I asked him, he's a male, I asked him, I love being male friends because they're friendly anyway. So I asked him, how are you? And he told me that I'm surviving. And I said, why are you coming to work if you are not okay? And he told me, mentally I'm not okay, and mentally I'm not stable, but I'm just surviving. That is why I've come here. And I'm also proud of you that you are a counselor. And I'm also proud of you that you're part of this discussion. And I'm also proud of you for what you have said about mental health and creating mental health spaces for people who are experiencing GBV in their respective places or home state. So I want you just to elaborate for us. Have you ever seen any affordable or community-based mental health approaches that have been especially helpful to survivors?
Okay, thank you very much, Anita, for that question. I think that is very important for even our viewers to come to learn this. And what I would start saying is that therapy is not necessarily as expensive as people think of. We have something like community-based, we have peer lead, we also have trauma-informed therapy, which are very much affordable. And to just start with, whenever we have survivors, especially on gender-based violence, sometimes in that crisis, it's not, majority of people never benefit from counseling per se. But what we do what we call the PFA, that is psychological first aid, to just address what has been happening, how they have made them feel, you know, how can they be helped to cope at the moment. And so you'll find like the PFA, it's very affordable. You can just sit down and do all this without even a single cost that is being incurred. Another thing, we have support groups. We always encourage people to join support groups, because we say whenever people share some pain, it can be a shared power. And so if we all have challenges here and there, you share the same challenge I share, the moment we sit down and discuss and debrief and talk to each other, it becomes so easy for us to even cope. Another thing, you'll find like in various communities, we have community mental health champions, and these are people who have been, they are just lay counselors, not professional counselors, but then they are just lay counselors who have been trained on basics of counseling, and so the moment you utilize them, they are able to help you. And if you need a professional help, we can also pave a way for you to get a professional help. And so you find all these things, other things are like peer lead support. As peers, like even in an office, we always encourage people to just do peer support counseling. For example, we come to work, sometimes we feel so overwhelmed. Sometimes we experience the same goals, we experience the same environment, and so we end up experiencing the same challenges. And so whenever we are doing this, can we come as peers and support each other? Can we talk about what is not going right? You know, can we support each other through developing coping mechanisms? Sometimes we tell people, okay, you can even talk to your colleague and tell them, you know, just leaving your job, it will not solve anything. But can we try to find other way out so that we can be able to cope and continue being productive and also making our environment very conducive. So I want to tell people, yeah, therapy sometimes it's expensive, and you find like not all people can afford therapy, but then we have to customize what we have at the moment. It's not a must that you go and pay 3,500 shillings for 40 minutes, but then you can utilize what is available at the moment and ensure that you are getting some help from it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Claire. Thank you so much, Anne, and the rest of the speakers. To our viewers, I know time cannot allow us to discuss all the things, but just feel comfortable and free to contact Health and Economic Development Strategy Organization in our various social media. And we normally have online engagement on Wednesday and Friday at around 2 p.m. As I will be giving my panelists 1 minute each to give us parting shot. I will start with Valentine. Valentine, what message could you share with the young people who has witnessed or experienced GBV but remain silent out of fear or shame in less than a minute?
Thanks so much to our viewers. Thank you for listening to us on this important topic. The message I would want to have for all of you is, let us try and eradicate peer influence. It is one way that will make us manage all these other socio-psychological challenges that we are having. Peer influence, I can bring an example of women listening to the stories of what happens into other houses. For instance, the cases of prank issues that have caused so much violence. Your friend telling you that she pranked the boyfriend or the husband, and then you go with your prank and it backfires on you. That is an instance that I can say causes a lot of disturbances. Our young boys, our young boys in the teens or the youth should start perceiving women as part of the community, as part of humans, as fellow humans. To our organizations and government agencies that champion for the gender-based violence activities, let us try and deliberate on fair justice in promotion of common human understanding, so that things can move, so that we can steer towards achieving the goal of ending or eradicating completely the cases of gender-based violence. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Valentine. I love the part you have said, we embraced women. More power to women. Okay, Claire. More power to women. Okay, Claire, in less than 1 minute, what message could you share with a young person who has witnessed or experienced GBV but remain to be silent out of fear or shame?
Okay, thank you so much. To anyone out there that has experienced any form of gender-based violence, even the ones they feel it's so negligible, just learn to stand for yourself. and come out. There is support out here. There are people waiting to hold you and lend their shoulder for you to cry on. And don't feel bad if you never reported before. There is this quote that says that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is right now. So it's never too late to stand up for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire. I love the part of solidarity. As we have been coming out of this place, we also need to show solidarity with other parts of Kenya, to end the femicide. To our last panelist, Anne, what message could you share with a young person who has witnessed or experienced GBV but remains silent out of fear or shame? Less than 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. So I think one last message to a survivor who has experienced GBV and they have just decided to remain silent is that I just want to remind you that it was not all your fault, and also to let you know that there are people there outside who are willing to walk with you the journey. We understand that the journey is not that easy. Taking action to just come out and say this is what I went through and this is how I feel today, it's not easy. But I want to remind you that we are openly there, our hands open for you, and in case of any support that is required of you, or maybe you know someone who's still struggling, kindly help them, usher them out so that they can stand up and also for other people to fight for you. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, my speakers, for honoring my invite and sharing amazing work and sharing amazing thoughts to our viewers and listeners. Mine is just to say you can follow us through our social media pages, that is Urban Economic Development Strategy, TINADA, and Jijenge Organization. See you next Friday. Thank you.
And that next Friday we will be talking about 1,000 reasons to fear women.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota nandani. Ay Olengus, City Lengus. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani. Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota nandani. Ay Olengus, City Lengus, Olengus. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani.
Attention to the issue of femicide. This is the international killing of females and girls, intentional rather, killing of females and girls on account of their gender, such as intimate partner violence or so-called honor killings. The Kenya National Police Service says that between August and October, there were nearly 100 confirmed cases of femicide in the country. UN statistics also show that there are a daily average of 140 femicide cases globally.
According to the Kenyan police, in the last 3 months alone, 97 women have been killed in the country. The UN says figures of intimate partner and family-related femicide were highest in Africa in 2023, with over 21,000 women killed.
The most painful moment is when you enter in the mortuary and find your daughter or your loved one lying in that thing of the mortuary. Nyakio was charming. Nyakio was bubbly. Nyakio was the most beautiful girl in this world. People loved her so much. She was very soft.
Tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota nandani. Oh, Iolengo, how city lengo. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota nandani. Iolengos, city lengos. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani. Abafazi bayalila. Iolengos, city lengos, Iolengos. Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota nandani. Iolengos, city lengos, Iolengos. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota nandani. Iolengos,
Trying to bring attention to the issue of femicide. This is the international killing of females and girls, intentional rather, killing of females and girls on account of their gender, such as intimate partner violence or so-called honor killings. The Kenya National Police Service says that between August and October, there were nearly 100 confirmed cases of femicide in the country. UN statistics also show that there are a daily average of 140 femicide cases globally.
According to the Kenyan police, in the last 3 months alone, 97 women have been killed in the country. The UN says figures of intimate partner and family-related femicide were highest in Africa in 2023, with over 21,000 women killed.
The most painful moment is when you enter in the mortuary and find your daughter or your loved one lying in that thing of the mortuary. Nyakio was charming. Nyakio was bubbly. Nyakio was the most beautiful girl in this world. People loved her so much. She was very soft.
Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota nandani. Oh, Iolengos, how city lengos. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota nandani. Iolengos, city lengos. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Yematota mamelani, yematota mamelani, yematota ngandani. Ayo Lagos, city Lagos, iyo Lagos. Yematota sabelani, yematota sabelani.
Attention to the issue of femicide. This is the international killing of females and girls, intentional rather, killing of females and girls on account of their gender, such as intimate partner violence or so-called honor killings. The Kenya National Police Service says that between August and October, there were nearly 100 confirmed cases of femicide in the country. UN statistics also show that there are a daily average of 140 femicide cases globally.
According to the Kenyan police, in the last 3 months alone, 97 women have been killed in the country. The UN says figures of intimate partner and family-related femicide were highest in Africa in 2023, with over 21,000 women killed.
The most painful moment is when you enter in the mortuary and find your daughter or your loved one lying in that thing of the mortuary. Nyakio was charming. Nyakio was bubbly. Nyakio was the most beautiful girl in this world. People loved her so much. She was very soft.
Yematota sabelani, yematota sabelani, yematota ngandani. Oh, iyo Lagos, our city Lagos. Yematota sabelani. Yematota sabelani, yematota ngandani. Iyo Lagos, city Lagos. Yematota sabelani, yematota sabelani. Abafazi bayalila. Yematota mamelani, yematota mamelani, yematota ngandani. Iyo Lagos, city Lagos, iyo Lagos. Yematota sabelani, yematota sabelani.
Attention to the issue of femicide. This is the international killing of females and girls, intentional rather, killing of females and girls on account of their gender, such as intimate partner violence or so-called honor killings. The Kenya National Police Service says that between August and October, there were nearly 100 confirmed cases of femicide in the country. UN statistics also show that there are a daily average of 140 femicide cases globally.
According to the Kenyan police, in the last 3 months alone, 97 women have been killed in the country. The UN says figures of intimate partner and family-related femicide were highest in Africa in 2023, with over 21,000 women killed.
The most painful moment is when you enter in the mortuary and find your daughter or your loved one lying in that thing of the mortuary. Nyakio was charming. Nyakio was bubbly. Nyakio was the most beautiful girl in this world. People loved her so much. She was very soft.
Tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota mandani. Oh, yolengo, how city lengo. Emma tota sabelani. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota mandani. Ay, Olengos, city lengos. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani. Abafazi bayalila. Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota mamelani, Emma tota mandani. Ay, Olengos, city lengos, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani.
Attention to the issue of femicide. This is the international killing of females and girls, intentional rather, killing of females and girls on account of their gender, such as intimate partner violence or so-called honor killings. The Kenya National Police Service says that between August and October, there were nearly 100 confirmed cases of femicide in the country. UN statistics also show that there are a daily average of 140 femicide cases globally.
According to the Kenyan police, in the last 3 months alone, 97 women have been killed in the country. The UN says figures of intimate partner and family-related femicide were highest in Africa in 2023, with over 21,000 women killed.
The most painful moment is when you enter in the mortuary and find your daughter or your loved one lying in that thing of the mortuary. Nyakio was charming. Nyakio was bubbly. Nyakio was the most beautiful girl in this world. People loved her so much. She was very soft.
Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota mandani. Oh, yolengo, how city lengo. Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota sabelani, Emma tota mandani. lengosi sithi lengosi emadoda sabelani emadoda sabelani abafazi bayalila ayo lengosi sithi lengosi iyo lengosi emadoda mamelani emadoda mamelani emadoda nqandani ayo lengosi sithi lengosi iyo lengosi emadoda sabelani emadoda sabelani emadoda nqandani iyo lengosi iyo lengosi iyo lengosi
Trying to bring attention to the issue of femicide. This is the international killing of females and girls, intentional rather, killing of females and girls on account of their gender, such as intimate partner violence or so-called honor killings. The Kenya National Police Service says that between August and October, there were nearly 100 confirmed cases of femicide in the country. UN statistics also show that there are a daily average of 140 femicide cases globally.
According to the Kenyan police, in the last 3 months alone, 97 women have been killed in the country. The UN says figures of intimate partner and family-related femicide were highest in Africa in 2023, with over 21,000 women killed.
The most painful moment is when you enter in the mortuary and find your daughter or your loved one lying in that thing of the mortuary. Nyakio was charming. Nyakio was bubbly. Nyakio was the most beautiful girl in this world. People loved her so much. She was very soft.
emadoda sabelani emadoda sabelani emadoda nqandani oh iyo lengosi awusithi lengosi emadoda sabelani emadoda sabelani emadoda nqandani ayo lengosi sithi lengosi emadoda sabelani emadoda sabelani abafazi bayalila ayo lengosi sithi lengosi iyo lengosi emadoda mamelani emadoda mamelani emadoda nqandani ayo lengosi sithi lengosi iyo lengosi emadoda sabelani emadoda sabelani emadoda nqandani iyo lengosi iyo lengosi iyo lengosi
Trying to bring attention to the issue of femicide. This is the international killing of females and girls, intentional rather, killing of females and girls on account of their gender, such as intimate partner violence or so-called honor killings. The Kenya National Police Service says that between August and October, there were nearly 100 confirmed cases of femicide in the country. UN statistics also show that there are a daily average of 140 femicide cases globally.
According to the Kenyan police, in the last 3 months alone, 97 women have been killed in the country. The UN says figures of intimate partner and family-related femicide were highest in Africa in 2023, with over 21,000 women killed.
The most painful moment is when you enter in the mortuary and find your daughter or your loved one lying in that thing of the mortuary. Nyakio was charming. Nyakio was bubbly. Nyakio was the most beautiful girl in this world. People loved her so much. She was very soft.